Demo video, Lynnwood, Washington, United States Food Forest, 2015, March 20th. We put in 100 saplings. Milo Wing did actually all of this. My wife and I and Milo put orange flags in all around this 1 acre of Pacific Northwest native trees that we could get locally at a decent price. These are mostly 5-gallon bucket sized trees, 4 to 5 feet tall, and there are just over 100 of them. And then about 100 stake plants, like willow stakes, that have been put in, and about 100 smaller plants, like 1-gallon plants. So we have Douglas fir, pine, red cedar, willow, spruce, birch. Gosh, it's probably about half the list. The variety isn't so wide, but I'll try to help point because it might all just look like plants to most people. There's one that just went in. There's one. 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 That alder was actually planted earlier. And here's the line of willow that was put in last fall. Here's the string of all these little willows right here. Right here are our willow buddies that Charles Frazier put in when he was getting his extreme manufacturing yellow belt, getting certified in Scrum project management outside hardware, and he chose to do it with forestry and forest gardening. The idea is for all of these plants to be Pacific Northwest natives, because that's where we are, to reestablish that habitat in this 1 acre that is attached to the Wikispeed shop here, and also be medicinal or edible with preparations that don't require any extra chemicals. So just using rocks and rainwater and bark and other plants. Oh, we have plenty of rocks right here in the soil. So that it's a primitive living food forest if we want it to be. And here's our living Christmas tree from 3 years ago, and it's doing great. It's the middle of my chest high now. It was much taller because it was in a pot above ground, but now it's much taller. And this has all been cleared. We rented goats. We rented a herd of 25 goats, and they spent 4 days chewing up this property. You can see all the plants, and there is our Christmas tree from last year, doing very well, nice and healthy. As the goats were clearing, we found some old chain link and barbed wire that's been set here to be bundled and carried out, so we won't snag our feet and other animals won't either. Some of these plants are already blooming even though they just went in. This should make, I hope, as they gradually come in over the years, a privacy screen around this 1 acre, making it more comfortable for me to camp here if I'm lucky. And then also the food plants, drying up the marshy area soil. Well, leaving some marshy area, that's what we want, but preventing wide boggy areas. And we contacted a plumber on Angie's List with high ratings to dig a trench through the wettest part of the property, which actually was a very slow running boggy stream. And we spray painted with blue paint the flow of where the hydrology was, and he dug it. We took beams that we found in all the Himalayan blackberry, pulled them out. There's a little waterfall here, maybe 18 inches, and then he's dug a pond, and then it connects just outside our property to a storm drain that the city had put in, where there's some ducks right now. And I hope that as this recently dug trench becomes more natural, there's some of the little plants that went in. I've got to be careful not to step on these little guys because they're so tiny. That one's bigger. That one's actually my waist height. There's some teeny little ones. But as this trench becomes more natural from rainwater, I hope it will become additional habitat for those ducks. So here's the pond area, and there's the little waterfall. Very pleasant. And it's running off into this pond. And right there is the property line, Just on the other side is a little pond with a cement and iron storm drain inside that the city has put in years ago. Well, we've connected to it where this had just been a muddy bog area, which is still fantastic habitat, and we still have plenty of muddy bog area, but it's, I think, made better habitat. And it's hard to see maybe, but there's about 100 stakes of little plants. They were 2 to 3 foot tall stakes, the biggest I could get during the Snohomish Conservation District plant sale. They're all on this edge where it's boggy to help dry up that soil and get the moisture back into the air. And the Wikispeed shop on this side has a lot of windows, so we should enjoy this view while we're prototyping ultra efficient modular cars.